In the news today, no liquor at the wall. Canadore's hero makes a trip to New York to be on the Letterman show, and hockey fans make the trip to Sudbury to see the Battalion play. Good afternoon, I'm Kyle Mywaart, and this is Canadore Newsnet. Our top story. Recently, the Wall Bar and Grill House lost its liquor license, resulting in the cancellation of regularly scheduled programming. In a statement released by the Wall on its website, it stated that in regards to the Wall's inability to serve alcohol, it is not a result of any liquor license infraction. It has to do with the management of the space between liquor license holder and the managing extension of that license. Canadore College President George Burton says this isn't a Canadore issue, but needs to be worked out between Nipissing University and the Wall. Meanwhile, the communications coordinator at the university, Bob Pipe, says that alcohol hasn't been served since last Friday because of a restaurant administration issue. He says the Alcohol and Gaming Commission has issued a cease and desist order when it comes to selling alcohol. He says the contract between the university, Canadore College, and the student unions governing the administration of the restaurant is being reviewed. He says the contract hasn't been reviewed recently and is no longer in compliance with the financial oversight obligations. It could be a long time before alcohol is flowing again. Pipe says he doesn't know when the issue will be resolved. A Canadore College student appeared on one of TV's most popular late-night shows this week. Alongside her was her dog, who performed a special trick in front of David Letterman. Andrew Hockridge reports on her superhero moment.
Up in the air when a North Bay dog trainer found out she was going to New York to appear on national television. Canadore College graphic design student Sarah Carson and her 14-month-old border collie named Hero paid a special visit to David Letterman last week. Hero competed in a segment called Stupid Pet Tricks, but what Hero did was far from stupid. In fact, more amazing.
When we first arrived, it was late, so we just got to see all the lights, and our first experience was going to Central Park, and well, it was pitch black, but you could just tell how beautiful it was. I've been in New York before, so it wasn't like this huge, oh my gosh, I'm in New York City, but it was at the same time. Hero was probably, he enjoyed it a lot because he really likes attention. But yeah, the whole experience overall was amazing.
Hero was blowing bubbles on command, and Sarah explains how she taught him to do this trick.
There was a dog on 2010 that blew bubbles in a bowl of water, and I was like, okay, well that's a start. So I started just going on YouTube and typing in different things, and I didn't find a dog that blew bubbles through a bubble wand. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just impossible. so we just started, like, I don't know, experimenting, I guess you'd say, on different ways for him to do it. And I'm like, okay, well, he can bark on command. So I changed his speak to bubbles. So when you say bubbles, he'll bark. And then I got my grandpa to create a bubble wand made out of chopsticks and a margarine container lid. And we just kind of had to experiment with the circle a bit to make it work. But yeah, that's how it worked, yeah.
When it comes to other tricks, Sarah says Hero absorbs all new techniques with ease.
He just recently mastered, well, I wouldn't say mastered, but he got his handstand off the wall, and that took maybe 4 months, and it took my Cocker Spaniel a year. So he learns pretty fast.
For Cogeco North Bay News, I'm Andrew Hockridge.
It's National Collection Week for Operation Christmas Child. Shoeboxes are being filled with toys, candy, hygiene items, and school supplies. They are then sent overseas to children between the ages of 2 and 16. Mariska Siriton visited North Bay last year from Tobago. Steph Burt-Hillyard caught up with her then, and she shares her story of receiving shoeboxes as a child.
Mariska Siriton lives in Tobago. She doesn't remember the first time she received a shoebox, but her nostalgia was clear as her eyes became livid lit glassy, a mix between excitement and quiet reflection of part of her life coming full circle. Seeing the familiar red and green boxes piled up, she questioned what the boxes were all about, recognizing them as similar boxes she had received as a child and adolescent. "You wouldn't believe how those boxes made me happy," she said. "I know the red and green boxes. They'd have them in big garbage bags. They'd group us in age, then they'd put our name on the box and give it to us." She also remembers her favorite part of the boxes being the sweets and school supplies that people included. Operation Christmas Child was started 22 years ago. Student groups, churches, and individuals are all encouraged to pack shoeboxes to be sent to children overseas who may not have much of a Christmas otherwise. Items such as small toys, school supplies, and hygiene items can be purchased and packed in shoebox-sized boxes and delivered to various churches in the area, as well as the KFM studio on Algonquin Ave. Shoeboxes are delivered regardless of race, religion, and age. participants also have an online option now, as they can virtually pack and send a shoebox at SamaritansPurse.ca. Last year, nearly 700,000 boxes were collected across Canada. This year, Canadian boxes will mostly be sent south of the border to countries like Haiti, Costa Rica, and Venezuela. 2012 will also mark Operation Christmas Child's 100 millionth shoebox. For Canadore Newsnet, I'm Steph Burt-Hillyard.
Mike Ball is outside with a look at the local weather forecast. Let's go outside and see what it's looking like. Mike?
Thanks, Kyle. Well, the fog does seem to be dissipating from this morning, and it is more visible. Let's take a look at our short-term forecast. Tonight you can expect some light rain with a low of 7 degrees. And tomorrow you can expect a mix of light rain and scattered flurries with a high of 6. Well, it looks like you won't be needing your coat for today, but you may need it next week. Back to you, Kyle.
Thanks, Mike. It's the last thing you would expect. A reporter goes to a wedding expo dressed as a hot bride-to-be, then gets hit on by one of the event staff. Who better than Saidia Zaloski to report on the story?
Something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. Future brides gathered at the Best Western to see a wedding showcase. A wedding comes with a lot of planning, which is exactly why Andrew Arksky enjoys hosting the event.
I'm sure you've seen and heard a lot of brides do get pretty crazy about their wedding stuff, but it's always a fun process of getting to know and showcasing what we have to offer and bringing all their guests in, and they get to see it as well, so hopefully they come back and can be return business as well.
This is the second one-stop event, and local businesses are quite happy with the opportunity. Frontman Gilles Gertin expressed how important this event is.
I think it's very important that anybody that's planning to have a wedding, that they do come to these shows, okay? Because it gives them the opportunity to meet with all the event people, like your limousine people, your cake people, your bridal gowns and all this kind of stuff, and they're all here together.
From catering to DJs or even picking out that special dress, One Stop gives these businesses a chance to showcase whatever they think a bride will need. If wedding bells are in your future and you don't want to be a bridezilla, One Stop Wedding helps you plan your special day. For Canadore Newsnet, I'm Saidia Zaloski.
Here's a unique idea for a fundraiser. The Whitewater Gallery is inviting the public to come in and make their mark in any creative, fun, and artistic way possible. Canadore Newsnet reporter Mandy Richard has more on the story.
The next couple of weeks, the Whitewater Gallery is hosting an event that will bring people's artistic ways to life. Make Your Own Mark is an interactive fundraiser for people to graffiti the walls of the gallery. Robin Pollex, the administrative director, explains that everyone is welcomed and the importance of the event.
It's open to everyone, from little kids to older people, and it's really to sort of have a presence within the community.
They encourage people to be as creative, artistic, and political as they wish. Putting your own mark on others' work is an option as well.
Use anything that you like. Spray paint is a bit of an issue, but we will open the door, and it's to be able to graffiti on the walls. It's political, it can be artistic, it's whatever you choose, and it's really just about bringing everyone together. If there's something you don't like on the wall, you can change it. If there's something you do like, you can make your mark and say that you do.
Another great and creative way to fundraise. For Canadore Newsnet, I'm Mandy Richard.
Mike Ball is going to take a look at the local weather forecast and answer the question, will we have snow soon? Now it's time for a look at the local weather forecast with Mike Ball. Mike, it's looking pretty nice out there today, but is there any chance of snow in the next couple days?
Thanks, Kyle. Well, the temperatures are warmer than usual, but you should expect snow within the next few days. Starting out in Vancouver, it is at 7 degrees with minor cloudiness. Heading into Edmonton, it is -13 with partial cloudiness as well. Regina is at -11, and a few flurries are occurring right now. Heading into Toronto, it is a high of -11 and it is sunshine everywhere. Heading into St. John's, it's a high of +5 and there's partial cloudiness. And Halifax is mainly sunny with -3. Let's look at the Northern Ontario map. So in the Sioux, actually, you could see some flurries heading in over the bay right now. The Sioux, it's at 12 degrees with increasing cloudiness. In Sudbury, it's 10 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Heading into Timmins, it's 11 degrees with minor cloudiness. And in North Bay, it's 10 degrees and it's mainly sunny right now. Let's have a look at our 5-day weather forecast. So currently, it is 11 degrees and it's sunny. Heading into Friday, it's minor rain. It's going to be a high of 9 and a low of -5. Saturday, it'll be a high of -1 and a low of -7 with partial cloudiness. Heading into Sunday, the partial cloudiness will continue, staying at -1 and the low of -4. And heading into Monday, it'll be sunshine with a low of -5 and a high of -1. So the temperatures are decreasing, Kyle. That answers your question.
Good thing we've all been growing out our mustaches for a little bit. Coming up after the break, Colby Clarke fills us in on a jam-packed week of sports.
I really wish I had remembered my lines.
Oh, love the NHL though.
We're not talking about that. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to our show. I'm joined by our trusty sports anchor, Colby Clarke. Thanks for joining me, Colby.
It's a pleasure as always, Kyle. It's great to be here. Big announcement in North Bay this week as we're finally getting our OHL team back.
Yeah, it was actually, I went to Sudbury last Wednesday to catch the game. I saw them in action against the Wolves. The Battalions looking like a great team. You know, they have a good record, and I think it's going to be great to have that energy in the city. Yeah, there's over 300 fans in Sudbury last week to catch the game.
There's definitely been a lot of excitement around the city for sure. The Brampton Battalion were in Sudbury this past weekend as North Bay fans got a taste of some of the hockey that will be coming next year. As Kyle Mywaart reports, fans were excited to see some of the puck that we're going to see next season. Wow.
Hockey fans flocked to the Sudbury Arena on Wednesday night, but not all of them were chanting "Go Wolves." The visiting Brampton Battalion saw a strong fan turnout as North Bay hockey fans made the trip to Sudbury to cheer on the team that may soon be theirs. The announcement was recently made that the battalion would be moving to North Bay if enough community support was shown. Responsible for selling 2,000 season tickets on a 3-year commitment, North Bay blew spectators out of the water when they reached that milestone in less than a week. Canadore College President George Burton made the trip to Sudbury with nearly 300 fans to watch the battalion play, and he says that having local fans on hand was key to showing the city's support for the move.
Fantastic. It brings an energy in the stands in our section, as you can tell, looking to bring that same energy into the city at every home game. And we see the season ticket base just growing over the next few weeks. And look, North Bay is a hockey town. It can support hockey at several levels. This is just one more level of entertainment that we'll have in the city. I think it's a win-win for everybody.
The fans who were there to witness the battalion triumph over the Wolves were electric, shouting their support throughout all 3 periods. With a final score of 4-2 for the battalion, head coach Stan Butler said his players were nervous initially, but felt comfortable with the support from fans as the game wore on.
Well, I mean, we're really excited about it. I mean, the city's embraced us already. You can see that tonight, and I think that's very important in junior hockey community. It's a new area and stuff like that, but it'd just be a new experience for the same group of guys.
Triumphing over the Sudbury Wolves with a score of 4-2, tonight marked not only a victory for the Brampton Battalion, but also for North Bay fans who one day soon will call this team their own. For Canadore Newsnet, I'm Kyle Mywaart.
The North Bay Trappers and the Sioux Thunderbirds were in a tight battle for first place in the NOJHL as Memorial Gardens was the setting for a Sunday afternoon game. Let's pick it up early in the second period as Trappers forward Tate Sagan grabs a loose puck and goes in on all alone, beating Sioux goalie Joel Horzizik to make it 1-0 Trappers, and what a beauty dangle that was. Mid-second we go as Brandon Janke threads a nice pass to Corbin Bean, who makes no mistake beating Horzizik with a quick shot, making it 2-0 Trappers. Great pass there. Thunderbirds will get a chance, however, as Dallas McLaughlin breaks in all alone before Cole Klippenstein saves the day with a beautiful diving poke check right there. Trappers goalie Dustin Hummel was solid on the night as he turned away 38 T-Birds shots, including 3 nice saves in this sequence, as the Trappers would go on to beat the first-place Thunderbirds 2-0. It was a busy night in the NBA as 28 teams were in action, with multiple games going right down to the wire. Let's see some of those scores to see who came out on top. A lot of games last night in the NBA as 8 teams needed extra time to decide a winner. The Toronto Raptors lost a nail-biter to Charlotte as the Bobcats forward Kemba Walker scored 19 points in a close 98-97 victory. Raptors forward Andrea Bargnani had a game-high 25 points in the loss. The Miami Heat found themselves in a tough battle against the Bucks as they squeaked by Milwaukee with a 113-106 overtime win. LeBron James and Dwayne Wade led the Heat with 28 points apiece. Blake Griffin and Chris Paul both had a quiet night against Oklahoma City as Kevin Durant scored 35 in the Thunder's 117-111 overtime victory. Indiana pulled out a close 115-107 win in overtime to take down New Orleans as Pacers center Roy Hibbert had a triple-double, including a whopping 11 blocks in the win. Atlanta edged out the Washington Wizards in overtime as Josh Smith had 12 rebounds and 28 points in the Hawks' 101-100 victory. And now it's time for our trivia question of the day. Today's question is, can you name the last OHL team to call North Bay home? And our hint today, Kyle, is this OHL team that used to be in North Bay played here for 20 years, from 1982 to 2002.
Well, Colby, with all the talk of the battalion coming back to North Bay, there's been a lot of talk about the OHL leaving North Bay, so I know the answer, very confident. Yeah. The North Bay Centennials played here 10 years ago.
That is correct, Kyle. Great guess. The Centennials served in North Bay for 20 years, like I previously said, and before they were relocated and renamed the Saginaw Spirit.
Perfect. Coming up after the break, chance to talk to entertainer Joel Plaskett. What are you gonna?
Well,
what are you gonna do for budgets?
Nothing actually. I'm pretty sure. What?
Canadian folk singer Joel Plaskett dropped by our studios earlier this week. Saidia Zaloski had a chance to catch up with the man who opened for Paul McCartney.
Welcome back. I'm Saidia Zaloski, and I'm here with Canadian folk singer Joel Plaskett. It's really such a pleasure to have you here, Joel. I know a lot of students are excited for your show. For those who don't know, could you explain your unique genre?
Yeah. You know, I grew up around folk music. My dad's a musician. He always played socially growing up. He plays in it with me now and then. Like, we'll actually tour together every once in a while. So as much as I love, like, I mean, I played rock. I play rock music. I grew up. I mean, that's where Zeppelin are still like my favorite band, and I love, like, there's a lot of punk rock records I really loved and still do, and you know, so it's always sort of a mix of like the music that I was exposed to really young, like folk songs, my dad playing, and then what I discovered on my own as a teenager, and since then.
I've read that you've also had an early start in music. Care to explain?
My first band with some other guys. We started when we were, we started playing music together when we were like 14, 15, and called ourselves Thrush Hermit when we were 16 because we thought it sounded like a 70s rock band like Foghat or something. And we, yeah, by the time we were 18, we graduated high school and went on the road touring. Opening for Sloan, we were part of the kind of Halifax pop explosion thing that was going on in the early 90s when Sloan were really taking off, and they were really generous to a lot of bands around town. We were one of them. They took us out on the road and gave us a bunch of opportunities to play. So we toured Canada.
You have played with many Canadian bands. How was that experience?
Yeah, we've played with it, like opened for the Hip on a number of occasions. They've invited us along, which has been great. Blue Rodeo we've done shows with. Yeah, I mean, lots of folks over the years that we've crossed paths with or played with. It's kind of, I mean, Canada's a big country, but it's small when you get into the music scene, and you know, you could start just sort of you know, we have what, one public national radio, public, you know, CBC connects the dots from coast to coast.
I see you have a lot of inspiration from your father. Could you expand on that?
Yeah, it's cool. He taught me guitar when I was younger, and it's just a nice way for us to spend time together. And he's a really good guitar player, so he brings something, especially to the folkier elements of what I do. When I'm playing the quieter material, my father's really is really an amazing accompanist in that way.
Thanks for that, Saidia. And that's all for our show here today. And from all of us here at Canadore Newsnet, we'd like to thank you for tuning in. To check out other stories and newscasts, you can visit theclaw.ca. Canadore Newsnet is produced by the students in the journalism and television program. I'm Kyle Mywaart for Canadore Newsnet. Good night and have a pleasant tour.